bring you the world.
Tonight, an apparent close call for a United Airlines jet struck by lightning on its way to Chicago, while as many as 3 tornadoes may have touched down in the Chicago area this afternoon when a squall line swept through.
And also tonight, the body of a 5-year-old missing for almost a week has been found in a Lake County creek. And police have made arrests following vandalism sprees at 4 Chicago public schools. Details next on Eyewitness News tonight.
This car has been compared to cars more than twice its price. When people see its elegant style, its luxuriously spacious interior, and experience the quality of its engineering, they can't believe the Honda Accord 4-door lists for under $10,000. Which probably explains why it's the best-selling front-wheel drive 4-door sedan in Alabama, Arizona, California, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana.
When I quit the airline to buy this charter service, they said, "You're nuts."
When a man has something extra deep inside his soul, it shines like a diamond, and it's worth more than gold.
I'm doing fine.
So here's to the man who looks deep inside, and here's to the man who finds something extra.
Stroh's signature is something extra. You have our name on that.
From backyard rocketry to space exploration, from horse-drawn trolleys to computer-run trains. Ideas that made America grow and made millionaires out of many who risked investing in them. At First Jersey Securities, we believe such investment opportunities still exist, if you know where to look for them. We do. We specialize in discovering America's emerging growth companies for today's investors with vision. First Jersey Securities. Come grow with us.
This is Channel 7 Eyewitness News Tonight with Jack Jones and Joan Esposito, Jim Ramsey with the weather, Jim Rose Sports, and the Eyewitness News team.
Good evening. Severe spring weather tonight is topping the news in Chicago and around the country. A storm that may have spawned as many as 3 tornadoes swept through the Chicago area, causing damage in Oak Brook and Cicero, injuring at least 1 person, and tossing a police vehicle into the air. Here's Alan Kraszewski.
Witnesses say very high winds, possibly a tornado, tore part of the roof off this building in Cicero. Flying debris smashed windows in a stairwell, and 1 person was hurt. 46-year-old Corrine Salinas was injured when the apartment building's roof caved in. She's now being treated at McNeil Hospital in Berwyn, where she's in fair and stable condition. But damage to buildings, homes, and trees was not confined to Cicero. Tom and Bill White were among the golfers at the Oak Brook Executive Golf Course. They were approaching the 8th green when they heard a sound like a train and saw what they say was a tornado.
A funnel came over these polo tents over here, and it just shot. It started right after it cleared them. Came down, and as it hit, it came across the ground, and then it shot up and became very disoriented, and then all of a sudden it gained formation again right in front of us. Hit down, and then all of a sudden all hell broke loose. Trees were just uprooted and thrown, and the sound was just incredible.
No one was reported injured. A number of homes adjacent to the golf course were also damaged. The high winds tore off roof shingles and snapped trees in 2. Along Lake Michigan, what started out as a sunny afternoon quickly became a dark and windy one. People near the North Avenue beach ran for cover to try to escape the wind and blowing sand. The Coast Guard says 5 boats capsized on the lake near Evanston and Wilmette. Fortunately, police and Coast Guard boats were able to rescue the people. Alan Kraszewski for Channel 7 Eyewitness News Tonight.
And a United Airlines jet on a flight to Las Vegas by way of Chicago was struck by a bolt of lightning as it took off from Cleveland Hopkins Airport this evening. None of the crew or 77 passengers on board Flight 367 was injured, but a hole was punctured in the nose of the plane, and the plane's weather radar was knocked out. The jet returned for a routine landing, and the passengers boarded another plane for Chicago. Joe?
The adverse spring weather is having its effects across the nation tonight. Near Eugene, Oregon, more than 1,000 firefighters from 6 states are battling 20 separate blazes in the Willamette National Forest. Dry winds and high temperatures are to blame. Further south in Utah, record winter snows are melting faster than ever before after 3 straight days of 90-degree temperatures. In Salt Lake City, dikes have been built and sandbagging continues as 25,000 volunteers try to hold back what may become a major flood, particularly if a nearby mountain reservoir overflows. Jim Ramsey will have more on our unusual weekend of spring weather when his segment comes up in a few minutes. Jack?
11 young vandals are in jail tonight, suspects in the vandalism of 4 Chicago public school buildings. It wasn't an organized vandalism spree, but several schools in different parts of the city were hit. Most of the damage was here at the Samuel Morse School on the near north side. Police say the vandals broke a window, then set about ransacking the school. Boxes of frozen food were found on the roof, and school supplies were stacked near a door. Food and ink was littered and smeared over desks, papers, and walls. Cleanup is underway, and the principal says there will be classes here on Tuesday.
The owner of a fireworks factory that exploded, killing 11 people, has surrendered to police in Tennessee tonight, ending a nationwide alert issued for his arrest. Dan Lee Webb operated the illegal factory that exploded in a fireball Friday. 4 men and 7 women, including Webb's 51-year-old mother, were killed, some of the bodies being thrown 300 feet. Webb's step-uncle survived the blast but was critically burned. Tonight, authorities are considering charging Webb with 11 counts of second-degree murder.
And also tonight, investigators near the U.S. Air Base at Mitton Hall, England, still don't know what caused the crash, but spectators at the air show watched in horror as a Beechcraft Mentor performing aerobatics slammed into the ground as it was apparently trying to pull out of a dive. The 2 people on board the single-engine trainer were killed.
Still ahead tonight, a change of the guard for U.S. Marines in Beirut, and the search has finally ended for a missing 5-year-old McHenry County boy. We'll have details up next.
Panasonic invites you to step ahead of your time to a Panasonic video camera that adjusts to light, even low light, and focuses automatically. To a stereo video recorder that records from TV or from life with 4-head technology for jitter-free effects from slow motion to stop motion. Step ahead of your time to a Panasonic Omnivision video system. More than just slightly ahead of its time.
Sox Fest! Baseball Fest! Sox Fest! Baseball Fest!
I've worn White Sox jerseys ever since I started my career, and you can get one like mine, courtesy of Wendy's Hamburgers, if you're one of the first 15,000 fans, 14 or under, who comes out to Comiskey Park with an adult on Jersey Day, Sunday, June 5th, for the doubleheader with the Kansas City Royals.
Sox Fest! Baseball Fest!
Jersey Day, Sunday, June the 5th, sponsored by Wendy's Hamburgers.
We weren't planning to go to Midas on our honeymoon, but we didn't have much choice. The brakes on my old Camaro were making a terrible noise, so we pulled into Midas and showed them my guarantee.
Now you're Pat Fitzsimmons?
I am. Used to be. Midas fixed the brakes right away, and because of the guarantee, the brake shoes were free. I guess something always goes wrong on your wedding day. It's a good thing we could go to Midas.
Trust the Midas touch. There's just one place. There's just one place. There's just one place for all your favorite tastes.
Gotta have a quarter pound. Crazy about their French fries.
Chicken McNuggets.
Big Mac for this guy.
Together, McDonald's and you. All your favorite tastes in just right here. One place.
Get a fun buck free when you purchase any McDonald's value and save at Great America. A great American meal and a Great America deal.
Tonight, after a week of almost continuous searching, the body of 5-year-old James Matthew Paglia has been found in a rural Lake County creek. Jim Avila has a report.
It was the find the sheriff's deputies had hoped not to make. After 6 days of searches in the banks and in the waterways of northern Illinois' chain of lakes, the body of 5-year-old James Matthew Paglia was recovered miles downstream from where he was lost Tuesday night. The search along the banks of the Nippersink began on Tuesday night. Young Matthew was hiking along the river's edge with a babysitter and his younger brother. The babysitter's attention was taken away for just a moment, and Matthew was gone. Matt had apparently ducked away from his babysitter for a swim and drowned. For 6 days, his body floated down the river until this tree branch snagged his blue swimming trunks, holding him until a patrol boat made the discovery this morning.
Well, I know that they've found my son Matthew in one of the channels off here where the creek runs, that they're pretty certain it is him. Well, we're just relieved to know that he is found now, but keep everybody from looking now.
Matthew's father says there is no evidence of foul play in young Matt's death, even though the body was recovered miles from home because of the river's strong current. Was it possible he just could have floated down like that?
Yeah, it's extremely possible. It's no problem there. It's a fast-running creek, I guess. And we followed it in canoes and stuff down through it. And it is possible that he could.
The Lake County coroner will perform an autopsy early next week to confirm. But right now it looks as though young Matthew was a victim of curiosity in high springtime waters. In Spring Grove, Jim Avila, Channel 7 Eyewitness News Tonight.
It would appear tonight that a tragic mistake in an Army hospital in Alabama has claimed another victim. Doctors at the Noble Army Hospital at Fort McClellan say that 27-year-old Charlotte Huddleston is brain dead after they gave her welding gas instead of oxygen. Army officials acknowledged the mistake, saying the tank of argon gas was hooked up to the hospital oxygen system instead of oxygen because the two tanks looked alike. The same horrible mistake was responsible for the deaths of an Army sergeant and a premature baby. In Williamsburg, Virginia tonight, members of the Six Nation Economic Summit have been feasting at a candlelight dinner following a full day of talks. They emerged from the backdrop of colonial Williamsburg late this afternoon. During the closed-door sessions, President Reagan was pressured to reduce U.S. interest rates and budget deficits or watch the economic recovery falter. But Reagan won a show of support when he stressed NATO plans to deploy medium-range missiles in Europe.
Tonight, Israel says it's keeping its troops on alert in Lebanon, even though Syria has ended large-scale military maneuvers in the Bekaa Valley. Israeli warplanes broke the sound barrier in a show of strength today over Syrian positions in eastern Lebanon. Meanwhile, in Beirut, replacements began arriving for the 1,200 U.S. Marines who are part of the multinational peacekeeping force. President Reagan says our Marines could be in Beirut for another year.
And just ahead, Jim Ramsey updates our unstable weather picture.
Wish there was another way to fly to Kansas City? Starting June 9th, you can fly there on American 3 times a day.
I'm giving myself an extra pair of eyes to make a point about Ray-Ban sunglasses from Bausch & Lomb.
The ultraviolet rays of the sun can burn the surface of your eyes, but Ray-Ban bans rays. Thanks to the optical experts at Bausch & Lomb, Ray-Ban bans over 98% of ultraviolet rays.
On these eyes or on these?
Since you have just one pair of eyes, remember, Ray-Ban bans rays.
Tune your radio every game to 67 WMAQ, the White Sox station.
In the race to put personal computers in the office, Wang introduces the winning formula, the Wang Professional Computer. In data processing, it's faster than any personal computer tested. Only Wang offers you the best-selling word processing in the world. And only Wang gives you all this, plus unbeaten communications. The Wang Professional Computer. In the race to office automation, it leaves the competition in the dust.
Well, the first series of storms is through. When can we expect the next batch of rainstorms?
Joan, I think, unfortunately, that probably for the next 48 hours, we'll see periods of light showers, maybe a thunderstorm, and also a little sunshine mixed all in. It's a peculiar, very mixed bag of weather in the Chicago area for the next several days, and we'll go into the details of why we expect it to be like we expect it to be. But first, here's what's going on outdoors. Our temperature is somewhat cool, 50 degrees. Humidity is 77%, barometric pressure is steady, and the winds are from the west, 8 miles an hour. The reason for this very unusual, unstable weather is a deep, extremely deep area of low pressure located now in northern Michigan. Now, as long as this low is expected to stay there, which will be, we believe, quite a while, it will continue to generate very unstable weather in the form of showers and thunderstorms. Right now, however, it seems to be a fairly calm night in northern Illinois as we check the satellite look. Some light hazy cloudiness continues over the northern portion of our state, but the more impressive cloudiness is still far to the north, where it's bringing some light showers to upper Wisconsin. But as we said, that low is not moving very rapidly, and until it does move out of the way, we can't expect some of this moisture up north to drift down through the Chicago area. One interesting story today has been in temperatures. Nationally, the western part of the country has been absolutely scorched. Lewiston, Idaho, 100 degrees today. And you can see by this graph of cool temperatures up in our region that we're expected to maintain temperatures still below normal. Around the suburbs tonight, it's in the 50s. Berkeley reporting 50 even, Belvedere 51, Braidwood 53. Forecast for tonight, we are expecting partly cloudy skies, low temperature 46 to 50, and maybe a storm. Tomorrow, periods of cloudiness, again very unstable, high in the upper 50s, low 60s. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, again unstable, low 43 to 47, and Tuesday, not much better, a chance of showers, high 57 to 61. Well, who knows, maybe by this next weekend we can see a little warmer temperatures and maybe some sunshine.
Maybe by Labor Day, too. Thank you, Jim. Bob Hope celebrates his 80th year when Eyewitness News returns.
McDade's announces tremendous savings on lustrous cultured pearls, June's birthstone, and the perfect wedding and graduation gift. All cultured pearl strands and bracelets are now an additional 30% off McDade's already low prices. 30% savings on their stunning pearl strands. 30% savings on their beautiful pearl bracelets. The exquisite gift you wanted to give. On sale at McDade's. Make this spring a McDade's tradition of savings.
For a great vacation, just say the word.
Say yes to Michigan. Say yes, yes, yes. Say yes.
You get more fun for your money in Michigan, whether it's a weekend or weeks on end. We've got what it takes to put you in a great state.
Say yes to Michigan.
For more travel information, call toll-free.
Well, tonight, comedian Bob Hope doesn't seem any closer to retiring than he was when he started his show business career more than 60 years ago. He celebrated his 80th birthday today, telling jokes and stories about his career at Fort Worth, Texas. As these scenes show, Hope was recently honored by the U.S. Senate at the Kennedy Center in Washington. Hope came to the United States from Kent, England in 1907 at the age of 4. He lived in Cleveland, Ohio before embarking on his career.
And it was a special day for parishioners at Sacred Heart Church on the city's south side. 4 years ago, Cardinal Cody closed the church, but its supporters never gave up. Alan Krzyzewski has this report.
For 4 long years, these Southside Catholics waited for this day, the official reopening of Sacred Heart Church. Last fall, Joseph Cardinal Bernardine announced that the church could be reopened, ending a battle between the Archdiocese and Sacred Heart supporters.
This shrine is once again the center of a worshiping community. A community whose purpose and whose relationship to the rest of the church have been clarified and strengthened.
Nearly 400 people crammed into the tiny church for the Mass. Some of the people who came today had to stand outside because there wasn't enough room inside. In the 4 years that the church was closed, supporters of Sacred Heart held prayer services here every Sunday in hopes that someday their church would reopen. Finally, late last year, they began renovating the church, replacing old walls, ceilings, and fixtures, and installing a new roof. 50 people volunteered their time to do the job, and nearly all of the materials were donated.
There is some money that the parish does have at the Chancery office, and we've used just a small portion of that. Most of it's been done by donation.
Many in the congregation grew up in this neighborhood. Some were married in this church. All of them feel Sacred Heart is very special.
it's a church that's like you're being at home. You feel like everybody welcomes you. You feel like you're just a member. Whether you're a stranger or what, you're always welcome to Sacred Heart.
I love coming here. Everybody's so close. It's like one big happy family. And we're all very happy that it's open.
Masses will now be celebrated each weekend here at Sacred Heart. The church will have no priest of its own, but priests will be provided through the Holy Name of Mary Parish. And many of these people plan to come back here each Sunday to their church, the church that was an answer to many of their prayers. Alan Kraszewski for Channel 7 Eyewitness News Tonight.
Arlington Park, I race against the best and work hard to win. It takes everything I've got. Arlington Park for fun. It's gonna be some winning season.
Fun on the run. Fun at a full gallop.
Now you can win with the Arlington Park Wild Card, new automatic parlay betting, and racing every Saturday and Sunday.
From the land of sky blue waters.
Whoa! After a hard day in the saddle, that's the best time to settle down with the frosty Hams. From the land of sky blue waters, take it easy. Have a Hams. Heads up!
Hams, the beer refreshing. Hams, the beer refreshing.
And enjoy Hams Special Light, too.
For real country sausage, the best you ever tried. Pick up a pound or two of Tennessee fried. Shoulders, loins, bacon, sides, hams in every pound. The best whole hog sausage anywhere around. Now take your pick of pride, either mild or hot. The best country sausage is what you got.
Take home a package of Tennessee Pride.
Today, there's a brand new overnight letter, specially designed to meet your most urgent needs. The Emery Urgent Letter. Now you can send 4 ounces up to 20 pages in a full-sized envelope. And the price, desk to desk, to most of America, is just $11. The more important papers you send, the more you need the Emery Urgent Letter. Meeting America's most urgent overnight needs. Try it.
Hey now, Jimbo, we got a little bit of a controversy here. Now,
Indeed.
The 2 uncers are getting together, the younger, just get his daddy to win. Was that smart for him to do that?
I don't think so, and the reason why, folks, is because as he's going around on the laps, Tom Sneva admitted at the end of the race at about 197, he was running out of fuel. His fuel light came on. Had he taken the lead at lap 187 as opposed to lap 191, he might have run out of fuel. Now, he stayed behind Al Unser Jr., effectively staying in his draft, effectively conserving fuel while Al Unser Sr. was in the lead using up his fuel. So he just came from behind, and at the right time he took the lead, and Tom Sneva spoiled Al Unser's Sr.'s birthday celebration. After 9 tries, he wins his first Indy 500 motor car race. Now, the race was relatively free of rain. There was some controversy, as we just talked to, and it led to a change of the final standings. An estimated crowd of over 400,000 packed the speedway for the start of the race. At the start, it was Teo Fabi bolting out to the lead from his pole position, and he held it for 23 laps. Now, that's the Forsyth brothers' car from Wheeling. But during a refueling stop, a 10-cent rubber fuel gasket slipped, causing fuel to spill out, forcing Fabi out of the car and effectively out of the race. Al Unser Sr. took over the lead and held it for a while, but on lap 53, he was passed by Bobby Rahal, who held the lead for 14 laps. That's Rahal there in the red. He had to exit, though, because of a blown radiator. The worst accident of the day involved hard luck Mario Andretti. Johnny Parsons goes under Andretti on the turn, loses control. Poor Mario has no place to go. Both men went to the hospital and were released okay. For the second half of the race, the battle was between Al Unser Sr. and Tom Sneva. Now, Sneva passes Unser here with 250 miles to go. Near the end of the race, Al Unser Jr., already 5 laps behind, sandwiched himself between his dad and Sneva. On lap 177, he refused to budge until Sneva swooped past him with 9 laps to go. Sneva then opened up a wide enough margin to beat the senior Unser to the checkered flag and victory. For his efforts, Sneva gets a first prize purse worth over $300,000 for his first Indianapolis 500 championship, a smart race by Tom Sneva. Here are the top 6 finishers. Unser Sr. finishes 2nd, Rick Mears 3rd, Jeff Brabham was 4th, Kevin Cogan 5th, and Howdy Holmes was 6th. Local favorites, Chris Kniefel, a rookie out of Riverwoods, came in 11th. Now he jumps ahead of Al Unser Jr. because of that lap infraction. Bobby Rahal, native of Glen Ellen, is 20th, and Tio Fabi, who's from Milan but driving that Forsythe Brothers car, finished 26th. What a day at Indianapolis this afternoon and evening. Well, it was home run derby at the Comiskey Ball Yard today. It was the good guys who were laying the lumber on the ball. The Sox whipped Texas 8-3 as Jerry Kuzman picked up his 3rd victory. Ron Kittle was not bothered by 3 rain delays at Comiskey. He got 2 RBIs. One came on this error in the first as the Sox took a 2-0 lead. Then the first rain delay came as the winds whipped through Comiskey. When play resumed, the Sox eventually built up a 6-1 lead. The highlight of the slugfest, Ron Kittle's 10th homer of the year, line shot into the upper deck. The grounds crew earned their money today, taking the tarp on and off the field a number of times. And then Carlton Fisk is earning his paycheck again. This home run in the 4th and an RBI single were his contributions to the White Sox big 8-3 victory over the Rangers today. Meanwhile, for the 2nd day in a row, Atlanta solved the Cubs puzzle. Dick Ruthven didn't have it today. Bob Horner's double to right center was the big blow of the game. It scored 2 runs. Northsiders were never able to recover from it. In the 4th, though, Billy Buckner saved some of Chicago's pride when he smacked his 2nd homer in as many days to right field. It was his 2nd of the year. Cubs scraped together 1 more run, but the Braves produced 4 more. And this RBI single by Rafael Ramirez helped Atlanta defeat the Cubs by a score of 6-4. National League scores now. Philadelphia wins over Montreal. Pittsburgh down Cincinnati, and it was St. Louis over Houston. San Francisco down to L.A., and the Mets slipped past San Diego. Now back to the American League. Toronto, oh, they are surprising everybody. The Blue Jays, they beat the Red Sox. It was Detroit over Minnesota, and the Yankees shut out Oakland. In other games, California over Cleveland, Seattle down Milwaukee, and Kansas City shut out Baltimore. Well, in golf, Hale Irwin made a 25-foot chip-in from the fringe to card a birdie on the 16th, which helped him win the Memorial Open Golf Championship in Dublin, Ohio. David Graham faded, and Hale Irwin came on to win that Memorial Golf Championship as Irwin's approach to the 10th hole hits the flagstick. Just couldn't make the birdie putt, so he had to settle for par with this putt. It wasn't until the 16th hole that he took command. At that par 3 hole, Irwin was just off the green, as we mentioned, 25 feet from the hole, chips it. It's good. He eventually shot a 69 for a 7-under par total, and he wins $72,000 of first prize money. 1 more victory is all the Philadelphia 76ers need to win the NBA World Championship. Today, with Moses Malone, Julius Erving, Andrew Toney, and Maurice Cheeks leading the way, the Sixers scored a big 111-94 win over Los Angeles in Game 3 of the NBA title series. The Lakers came out roaring in the first quarter, and on this Jamal Wilkes hoop, Los Angeles held a 14-point lead at 26-12, but then the Lakers ran out of gas. The Sixers picked up the pace, played brilliant defense in the second quarter. Moses Malone rips down the rebound, feeds Andrew Toney for the slam. Sixers closed the gap at halftime. In the third quarter, Philadelphia pulled even with L.A. as Malone gives the Sixers 2 more here. The period ended tied at 72. The fourth quarter was all Philly. They outscored the Lakers 14-0 midway through the final quarter as Toney nets 2 more of the 20 he would score. Sixers lead by 10. To wrap the game up in a nice little bow, the good doctor, Julius Erving, will slam in 2 of his 20. Philadelphia can win the NBA title Tuesday night in Game 4. Let it flow for the doctor. At Soldier Field today, the Sting scored its first goal, that is, against the Toronto Blizzard. It's Ricardo Alonso Panama-Hedek doing the honors. Gives the Sting a 1-0 lead. The Blitz came storming back as goalie Victor Nogueira mishandles a shot. Cliff Calvert puts it home to tie it at 1-1. Alonso played an outstanding game. Here he takes the ball all alone, brushes against the defender, and scores for a 2-1 Sting lead. However, Toronto came back with 2 of their own to win it by a score of 3-2. And tomorrow evening at Soldier Field, the Blitz take on Arizona, looking for a rebound of that lost on the second game of the season.
Tuesday night, they're going to do it now?
Yeah, the Sixers, yeah.
You're going to throw a victory party?
Indy.
Afraid the Lakers have lost it. That's our report for tonight. I'm Joan Esposito.
And I'm Jack Jones. Thank you for being with us. Have a good Memorial Day tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.